In this lecture, we will talk about how to download CentOS Linux. So first thing you want to do is go to centos.org, centos.org. Once you get to centos.org, depending on when you access it, the site does change sometimes, but you will see a link similar to this. You can click on Get CentOS Now. Once you click on it, it will give you the options you have available to download CentOS. There's one option which is DVD ISO, the other one is minimal ISO. I would recommend you choose DVD ISO if you have enough space on your computer where you're downloading it. It will take longer. This is the full version of the DVD ISO. Minimal ISO is just a minimal ISO. If you want to install desktop version or the GUI version of the software, you will not be able to. You will basically have to install everything yourself after you install minimal ISO. So I would recommend use DVD ISO. When you click on this link, it will take you to the current version of CentOS 7, which is CentOS 7.6 right now. Current version is 7.6. Depending on your geolocation, you will see certain links which are closer to your region. So this one is closer to me. I'm currently in New York, so it's showing me all the links that are available close to me. Currently it shows us it's 7.6 right here, and that's the one I want to download. So if I click on this, it will start the download process. I have already downloaded it, so I will just cancel this. But once it downloads, it goes to your downloads folder. If you changed that location, then it will go to a different location that you have specified. Once it goes to your downloads folder, you will have the ISO, and then you can use that ISO to install the software. So open up Oracle VM VirtualBox and then click on New. Here you can name your VM. Let's name it CentOS Lab, and you can always change it later. But as soon as you type in CentOS or Red Hat, you will see this change. If it doesn't, then you can click on it and change it to Linux. And then currently I'm using Red Hat 64-bit Linux install, so that's what I will choose. Click Next. Here you can change your memory size, currently set 1 GB. For our lab environment, that is fine. I'll just click on Next. We will leave the default setting, create a virtual hard disk now. The recommended size is 8 GB, and we will click on Create. Over here, we will leave it at VDI as the default. Click Next. And we will leave it dynamically allocated. If this is a real environment and if you want more performance, then you can choose fixed size. Otherwise, dynamically allocated is fine for our lab environment. Here we can specify the size. It will show you how much space you currently have available. Currently it's set to 8 GB. I will change that to 20. Click on Create. At this point, you will see your VM listed here. If you can see here, I have a lot of VMs here. If you're just starting with the first one, then you will only see one. So right now what we will do is, as you can see, CentOS Lab is listed in here and it's powered off. What you want to do is right click on it and click on Settings. On the first tab, which is the General tab, you'll see the name that's listed here is CentOS Lab. Type is Linux, 64-bit. Everything looks fine. Click on Advanced tab. And here we will change these settings to bidirectional. This is to share a clipboard and drag and drop in case we need to. This is optional setting. Next, we'll click on the system. Here you will see everything listed in here. For example, your boot order. We don't need the floppy, and we will leave everything as is right now. And if you wanted to change the memory or change your memory to increase it, you can do that here as well. We will click on Processor. I'm not going to change the processor, but if you wanted to change and maybe add 2 processors, you can do that here. Next is display. We don't need to change anything here. Let's click on storage. And here we will add our CD. Currently, as you can see right here, it shows empty. This is where you will add your ISO image. Click on the CD icon and choose the place where you have downloaded your ISO. Currently, it's showing up for me already right here, CentOS 7.iso. I will click on that, and as you can see right here, it got added. If you downloaded the DVD ISO, The size will be something like that. It will be around 4+ GB. Next, you click on network. And this setting is very important here. Make sure this is checked. Attach to NAT. Click on that and change it to bridge adapter. If you choose the bridge adapter, in most cases, you will be able to connect to the internet through your wireless router. Currently, I have a wireless adapter that's showing up in here. If you're using something else or Ethernet, you will have that choice, then you can choose that. Otherwise, if you're using a wireless adapter and connecting through your Wi-Fi, through your wireless router, this will be the setting that you would need to choose. Next, you click on Advanced tab. Over here, you just need to click here and change Deny to Allow All. And this will be checked, cable connected. If it's not, just check it. And these are all the settings we need to check and change. Click OK. Now this is the process we are using on Oracle VM VirtualBox. But if you're installing it right on your laptop, you will just pop in the DVD into your CD-ROM drive or the DVD drive and then boot from it. Next thing we need to do is right click here and click on Start and click on Normal Start. There's another way you can do that. You can just highlight this and click on Start here and click on Normal Start. First thing you want to do is click on View and change it to Scale Mode so you can readjust the screen size. And you will have a certain amount of time shown on the screen, and then it will choose the automatic setting. If this is the first time you're using this ISO, it's a good idea to test this media and install CentOS 7. Choose that option. If you already have used this ISO before and know it's good, then you can use the up and down arrow keys and choose to install CentOS 7 without testing it. I am going to test this media and install CentOS 7, so I will highlight this option and hit enter. One thing to remember is if you click on this screen, then your mouse may disappear. If your mouse disappears or if you lose your cursor, you can press the right control key to get it back. It's important that you remember that, because if you lose your cursor and you don't remember it's the right control key, you'll be looking for it. As you can see, it's checking the ISO and it's showing you the progress on the screen. It's a good idea to test this, because if you download it over the internet and maybe you downloaded it from a place where maybe you have downloaded a corrupt one, then it will find it here. It's done checking the ISO. Now it's starting the installer. So on this screen, you can choose your language. Once you have selected the language, then you can click on Continue. Once you click on this screen, your mouse will disappear and you will see this cursor on your screen. If you press the right control key on your keyboard, you will get your cursor back. Then you can click Continue. Now here it will take a few seconds before everything is not grayed out. And again, if you wanted to change your date and time, you can change that here. Currently my time is showing America is New York. That is correct for me. If you want to change yours, you can change that here. Next we will look at installation source. It should be correct already because we already selected it. It is showing the correct source, so I'm just going to click on Done. Next thing, installation destination. Currently we added the 20 GB disk. It's showing up in there, and that is correct. In this installation, we will choose automatically configure partitioning. That is also checked. We don't need to do anything else here. Just click Done. The next one I want to check is the software selection. Let's choose that first. Over here we're going to choose the GNOME desktop so we can have a graphical user interface, and then we can open up our terminal and compare the both so you can learn both of them. So once you click on GNOME desktop, there's many options that you can choose here. Also, just to give you an overview of what you have here, you can choose many options here. You can choose basic web server to install as well, and then it'll give you all the options that you would need to choose here. You can also install all of these after you've installed your operating system. For now, we'll just use GNOME desktop. And if you're a developer, you can also click on development tools. So let's choose GNOME applications as well and click done. Next is network and host name. We will name the host name as CentOS lab as well. You can always change that later. There will be a lecture on how to change the host name in one of the lectures later on. But over here you can mention your host name or the server name that you're going to use. Once you type that in, just click on apply. One very important setting here is make sure that you turn your interface or your adapter on. If you don't turn it on, you may not be able to connect to the internet. If you're using a wireless router to connect, you will get a direct IP for this server directly through your router. Currently it's showing .19 address, 192.168.1.19. So that will be your IP address, and since it's going to be DHCP, it may change later on. But as long as you're using the similar default route in most cases, then this is the IP address or something similar that you will see here as well. Next thing is click on configure. There is very important setting under configure as well. Over here we don't really need to change anything. You can look at these settings to get an idea of what they do, but this one is the general tab. You want to click on that, and this is very important. Check that automatically connect to this network when it is available. Click on save, and one more time make sure this is on so your interface is on. When you click this, it turns off. Click this, it turns on. Make sure it stays on, and you see an IP address listed here. That's all you will need to do, and you should be able to connect to the internet just fine. Click done. There are a couple other things in here. We don't really need to do anything with those right now. Just click on begin installation. And right here the installation will start. This installation will take anywhere from 15-20 minutes to up to an hour depending on the speed of your computer. In the meantime, set the root password, and also you can create a user and set the password for that user as well. So first thing is to set the root password, and also make sure that you remember it. So root ID is going to be just root, all lowercase root. Here is just asking you to type in the root password. Okay, I've typed in the password. It's saying it's strong. That's fine. If you type a weak password, you will click on done, and it will ask you to click on done one more time. If you type it in strong, then you should be okay by clicking on done just once. Now the root password is set. It's showing you that on the screen. Now let's create a user. It's important for you to create a user now so you can use that account as well. And make sure you check this once you create the user to make this user administrator as well. So right here we will call this user Linux. You can name the username whatever you want to name. And let's set the password. Click on done, and we're done at this point. Now we just have to wait for the installation to complete. Again, this will take anywhere from 20 minutes up to an hour depending on the speed of your computer. I will edit this video so you don't have to stare at the installation screen the whole time, but this can be much longer than what you see on this screen right now. At this page, click on Reboot. You'll see a bunch of screens go by. It will automatically choose your current kernel. Click on the license information. Accept the license agreement, check the box, click Done. Now click on Finish Configuration. Click on Linux to log in as the user Linux. Type in the password. And then click on Sign In. Now you're on your desktop. A screen may pop up. Just hit Next, Next, Next. And then you can skip this part. Now you're ready to go. Start using CentOS Linux. At this point, to shut down your system, you can click on this icon here. And then click on the power button. And then click on Power Off. Now you'll be back to your Oracle VM VirtualBox Manager, and you can see CentOS Lab is powered off. To turn it back on, you can right-click on it, click on Start, and click on Normal Start. And this is how you can start it back up, and then just log back in. That's how you install CentOS 7 in Oracle VM VirtualBox.